Alright, YouTubers, welcome back. This is Brooklyn Chondros with the second part of the feeding video. 20 minutes later of strangling this mouse was not even alive. You know, this snake, this female, she always kills her prey for about 20 minutes before she even attempts to swallow. And finally, as you can see, she's going at it. She found the head. Perfect. She's not swallowing feet first. Some important information I feel I left out is I definitely feed all my chondros frozen thawed mice because there's no point in, buying a snake that's worth hundreds of dollars, maybe sometimes even thousands of dollars, and having it get scratched or bitten up by a dollar mouse. That's horrible. Not only that, but it's kind of cruel to hear those poor little mouse squeal to their deaths and stuff. Although they are rodents and they are bred for feeding, so that's not really the main reason. I get my frozen thawed mice from Komodo Reptiles up in upstate New York. If you want any of their information, I'd be happy to give it to you. They're super reputable, and they also breed green tree pythons, some of the best around. I heat my tanks from one side using a Pro Products Radiant Heat Panel 40 watt. For this tank, if I had put it inside the tank, it would be complete overkill. But I figured, let me knock out two birds with one stone. Let me buy the heat panel for their adult tanks, which they'll go into in a year or so, and I can use it at the same time for their current tanks. So and I keep it on the outside of the tank, towards one end along the side of the outside, and it gives me a perfect temperature gradient. The thermostats I use are from Spider Robotics, HepStat Pros. They're awesome because they have 4 probes and they have included nighttime temperature drops, which is a pretty sweet feature. Let's see, what else do I use here? Oh, this actual animal was purchased from Mike Lockwood. He bred it from his Flavor Time still water clutch. If you guys want pictures of the parents, I'd be happy to supply them. And here she goes. She's eating like a champ. It never gets old, man. I love watching these. I used to keep ball pythons back in the day, but those are my first snakes, and I bought them because, they're known as the first time snake owners' best choice. They're super easy to take care of. You basically keep them in a tank, throw in some fresh water, and that's it. But these guys are very different. They need perfect temperature gradients. They need fresh water, practically daily, and they're super aggressive sometimes, super finicky when it comes to eating, but she's great. One thing that was unusual for her is that usually as soon as I get near her tank, she's like ready to pounce on a mouse, even if I'm not feeding. But because I had her out and in the light, so I can actually do a nice video for you guys, she had her head tucked in her coils, and that's why it took a little while to get a feeding response out of her. And because of all the bright lights, that's why she missed her first strike, because clearly their eyelids are not completely open with all this bright light around. There you go, she's almost done. It amazes me that she takes about, from start to finish, 30 minutes or so, maybe even longer to finish a meal. Meanwhile, her brother, which will be my next video for tonight, he eats fast as hell, man, let me tell you. And he's way more aggressive. But, it's all about conditioning. You show these animals you're not scared of them. You hold them the proper way. You get them used to your contact, and as long as you're not scared, they won't be scared either. Snake psychology is pretty simple. It's almost as simple as, human beings. But actually, it's more simple than human beings. What am I talking about? But there's, lots of telltale signs with chondros. No flickering of the tongue. That means they're a little bit nervous. Typical S-shaped by their neck means they're, kind of ready to strike. I mean, I could go on and on, but that's a whole nother video. There it goes down the hatch. What a perfect feed. Head first. It's like she's playing to the camera, man. Let me tell you, this one is definitely not camera shy. By the way, I'm filming off an iPhone 4S that I got hooked up to a tripod that I ghetto rigged. Pretty badass. Shoots HD videos. I'm pretty sure it's better than most video cameras that you can buy these days. Apple makes some pretty shitty computers, but they sure know what they're doing with their phones. Let me tell you. I hope that Apple comment didn't get me flags for some kind of copyright shit. Because just for playing background music, I got copyrighted on my last video, feeding my little Moroki, 1-year-old, actually 7-month-old. This video is definitely going to take like 50 minutes to upload, and I got some fast internet. Oh, one last thing. There's only one water bowl in the tank now, as you can see on the left-hand side, but I always keep two water bowls. One on the hot end of the tank, one on the cold end of the tank. Not so much for temperature of the water, but just to guarantee that my snake is hydrating itself, because that is one thing with these snakes, is you want to make sure that they are drinking as much as possible. And getting them to drink sometimes is hard. And I will go into that in more detail in another video, because there's some trade secrets with that, and most people would unknowingly do, thinking that it's good for the snake, but really you're just conditioning it for laziness. But I'll explain later. Man, I love that at the very end they just realign their jaw. Look at that, boom. But I love that. Give me a yawn. Yes, I knew it. I knew it was coming. And back she goes. What a beautiful snake. She's just, I want to say she's your classic mainland chondro, but she's just got some beautiful color in her. The blues, the green, the yellow. The yellow gets way more intense by her tail. And also, all the colors get way more intense by the tail. You really can't tell right now, but with some still photography, it really shows. I love her. She's definitely going to be the center of some of my breeding projects. She's got some great genes to carry on. Yeah, now she had her food, now she's coming after me. Maybe not. Alright, that's it. We're going to cut it short here, but please leave any comments, more so than comments, questions. I'd love to answer questions. I got plenty of knowledge that was passed down to me from plenty of experienced breeders, and I certainly would be happy to pass on that knowledge to anybody else that wants it. Take it easy, YouTubers. This is BK Chondros, and I'm out.